Okay, when you buy a rollator, the first thing you're concerned about is how easy is it going to be to put this thing together. This is the box that it came from Amazon with the rollator in it. It's pretty heavy, I don't know, 20 or 30 pounds, so you might need help getting it moved around. But let's open it up. I'm going to do a time-lapse video showing the complete opening and assembling so we can get a good handle on how difficult all that is.
Well, if you've ever gotten a box within a box from Amazon, you know what this is all about. No big deal. I was hoping for a partially assembled or fully assembled rollator, but when I pulled out the bag of parts, I realized that wasn't going to be the case. But so gonna have to work on the assembly. Okay, so here I'm attaching the legs to the seat, then attaching the seat back to the seat, attaching the arms to the seat, and then attaching the handles to the arms. Here I had to fix my mistake, which was putting the seat back on backwards and then attaching the tote bag, and then noticing that there were 4 washers unaccounted for, which weren't mentioned in the manual, and then I put them under the knobs holding the legs to the seat.
Okay, throwing out the trash, I found one stray plastic nut cover in the box that was in well all the debris. And I looked around and around, and I found this guy on this side had a nut cover. This guy does not, so I have to put that back on. It's not on very secure. It's going to fall right off the first chance it gets. So improper fitting of the nut covers, a little ding 'em for that. That assembly went pretty well, but not as well as it could have gone. First off, there were some extra pieces not shown in the parts manual. These 2 levers that attach the armrest to the handlebars were not attached, and in the documentation it shows they're already attached. There were also 4 washers that weren't mentioned, and because I had to put in 4 bolts, I went back and undid those 4 bolts and put washers under them. They're not lock washers, so I don't know if they're important at all. And finally, I put the seat back on backwards. And a lot of these things are difficult because although the manual has good pictures, like everything's black or dark red, and even when the picture's close up, it's kind of hard to tell what's what, and so it's very difficult to sometimes get your orientation on things. You know, the good news is it's nothing disastrous, but still, this rollator did not come as well put together as some of the other ones I've seen. There's a lot more assembly here than I'm used to seeing, and I would say that you definitely don't want to be doing this unless you are somebody who uses the word handy to describe yourself, because it's just you know, it's glitchy, the documentation is not quite right, and it's hard to read the pictures, so you got to be a little resourceful. If you're a person who's not handy, like if you're the person who's buying this rollator and you're you know, you're not as mobile or agile as you used to be, you're going to have to turn to your friend who's the master of putting IKEA stuff together and turn this over to them, and they'll get it done. It's not that complicated, but they could have done better. Okay, so when you first get the walker, there's a couple things you need to adjust. One of them is the height of the armrests, and that's done with these buckles here. So I've got it on 6 right now, which appears to be the maximum safe setting, and my arms are approximately 90-degree angle. That tells me that anyone taller than my height, 6'1", is not going to want to use this because you can't extend these up higher, and what it means is you're going to be crouching. You don't want to be crouching, you want to be standing upright. This is the whole point of having the thing. An adjustment here, they have this belt on here, which looks like an afterthought, and they describe it as to prevent shaking of the armrests. I think what happened is they just don't have enough stability here, and rather than re-engineering the stability, they threw on this belt. Okay, so be it. You want to adjust this backrest so that you are sitting comfortably in here, and that's just with these nuts. You move them up and down. So, and when I'm sitting in here, I notice another problem, which is I'm not a super wide guy, and I barely fit in here. I mean, my shoulders are up against both sides, and I'm very thin. I have a very lean frame, and so I'm not wide. A lot of people who are older and have picked up some pounds over the years are going to have a lot of extra width on their shoulders, and they're not going to fit in here. So this seat is not going to be any use to them at all. So I consider the width of this thing to be a major impediment to its proper use. You're going to need to only use this with somebody who's rather thin. And they limit it to women of normal stature and men of thin frame. I had to adjust the brakes right out of the box. They didn't stop very well, but that's very simple. You just turn a knob on the bottom. If you're used to adjusting bicycle brakes, it's the same thing. I have the same complaint about these wheels that I've had on other rollators. These are slick wheels with no tread, and so even though the brakes are on and it's fully engaged, I can just keep moving, no problem. So they'll grip if you're on asphalt or some other rough surface, but how many times are you on a rough surface on a rollator? More likely you're in the store on tile, or in the mall, or in your home on carpet or hardwood, and having that poor stopping power is kind of annoying. This guy also has fold-up one hand fold up, you reach down here, pull up, and it folds up. And this is as far as it folds up. So I've got some other rollators that at this point also the wheels fold up and make it into a much smaller, more compact thing than this. So I'm going to take points off of this guy for its fold up. When you're done with the fold up, you push it back down and it locks into place. Now it's very easy, so I've got no complaints about that. But I wish it would fold up into a smaller package. So all in all, this rollator, I think your money might go farther getting one that's overcome some of these features. Wider frame, better fold up. Boy, I'd love to see one that can handle somebody 6'3" or 6'4" without crouching. I'd love to see one with treads on the wheels. But you know, this is not to say this one won't work. It's not to say that it's you shouldn't buy it. Just to be aware of these issues and be prepared to deal with them. I just want to let you know that I am honored by Amazon to be in the Vine program, and I take it very seriously. I work really hard with my family to do reviews on these products. We have a lot of fun doing it. We get to see a lot of interesting things. And what I hope more than anything is that my reviews help you make good selections for your products. If they do, that's good for you, it's good for me, and it's good for Amazon. Hope you enjoyed the review.